Hi, everyone. This is Caroline again with you and the Expat interview, Thriving Abroad, where we go all over this big globe to find awesome and amazing people that are living their best life in places all over the world. You can do it. I did it, and you're going to meet someone today who's done it, doing it, and so happy am I to share her story with you, and I know she is. Thank you so much, Zenobia, for joining us today and sharing your story. So I'm really excited, and I say this every time, but I really am truly excited because you are an expat to a country that we hear nothing about on the expat horizon. So it's going to be really interesting and exciting today to hear your story. But first, just tell us a little bit about where you're from originally.
So I'm from Wilmington, Delaware. My family is from the Carolinas. They moved up here in the 60s. We are black, I'm descendant of slaves. And stuff's popping up on the screen. I've lived here my whole life. Lots of vacations and fun things. And my city changed when I was about 15 and became a very violent place. And I decided, some bad things happened. And I decided that this was not the place for me. America in general was not the place for me. So I made the decision. I was on vacation in Hawaii, and I had a friend talking. She was telling me about her time in the Peace Corps. And that was the first time I'd ever heard about the Peace Corps. From that point until the time, I think I was about 24 when I took that trip, I started getting myself together to join the Peace Corps and, change scenery. With the Peace Corps, when I signed up, you were able to not necessarily pick your country, but put up what you would prefer, where you would prefer to go. And Togo was first on my list. I chose Togo because there wasn't much information about it, and I like adventure. So I was seeking adventure. It was Francophone, and I wanted to speak French. And it was in West Africa, which I have ancestral connections to West Africa, Sierra Leone specifically, but it was where I could go. So I applied in 2016. I got in, and May 2017, I left with the Peace Corps for Togo, and I quit the Peace Corps. Peace Corps was, if I was younger, it may have been a different situation. But I joined Peace Corps when I was an active working adult. I took a 90% pay cut to join the Peace Corps. And when I went to Togo, they were having demonstrations, protests about their president, who is the family is the longest ruling family in the world. But it's not like a king and queen situation. They are it's a president. It was the president, and then his son took over after he passed. At that time, they were having demonstrations, and a series of unfortunate events led me to decide that Peace Corps wasn't for me, but Togo was. So I quit Peace Corps. I actually quit Peace Corps while I was here in the States, and I went back on my own without much of a plan. I ended up teaching for a year. That was interesting. And teaching was different, but it didn't allow me to live the life that I wanted to lead over there. So I moved on from that. And when I joined the Peace Corps, I joined as an agricultural volunteer because I'm an agricultural developer by trade. And that's a lot of what I do now. So I work in small gardens and farms. I have my own farm. I also produce and sell a liquor called Soda Bee.
Wow, that is so interesting. I have some familiarity with the Peace Corps because I made friends when I was living in Nicaragua with some folks that were there in the Peace Corps, and it's a very interesting program. For people that want to travel and be kind of protected living abroad because you kind of work for the government in a way. It was also interesting that, well, anyway, that's for another story. So this is really exciting. So Togo, okay, so this is the one question I want to ask you. You know, being a woman of color, and everyone thinks that when you go to Africa, a country in Africa, that you just kind of blend in and everyone just says, okay, we have the same skin color, you're cool, whatever. I mean, there is a cultural difference, is there not? I mean,
Oh, there are enormous cultural differences. And a thing about Africa is a lot of what we see is the village, the bush. That's what we see on TV. But Africa is full of not monstrous, but like beautiful cities, enormous.
yes.
So I chose a smaller, well, I have two homes. I have a apartment in the city, and I have a place in the mountains. A place is My house is gorgeous. I love my house. My house is beautiful. Um, but it's not exactly like a traditional home. It's an African style home, not like a mud hut, but it's a cement house. And
It's like you living like a local. It's like a
yeah,
local. Yeah.
yeah, more or less. Actually, not really. Yeah.
Well, a local for that area. You're living like no, not even.
No, I mean, because of the exchange rate, I live like a very wealthy woman in town. I have a big pretty house on the top of a mountain, so that's what it's like in the town. But in the city, there are a lot of wealthy people. In the city, there everything that you would imagine a city to have, there is. Um, but there are some major cultural differences, and there are cultural differences between the cultures there. Togo has about 8 million people now. Within those 8 million people, there are 80 different dialects of 40 different languages. And those 40 different languages, they each belong to an ethnic group. Every ethnic group is different beyond just their regular culture, but the way they look as well. So there are light-skinned people with curly hair who are rail thin, the Fulani, they're nomadic cow herders. When you go to the north, people are tall and slender. The Moba, they're tall and slender. When you get down south, people are short. And, that's where you get all the backside. The ethnic group I chose to live in with is a group called the Akposo. And their skin tone is close to mine, but looking at us, if you live there long enough, you can look at people and see the difference in their ethnic group. And when people look at me, they know right away I am not from there.
Yeah.
My hair is different.
Yeah.
My hair is different. Oh, I'm sorry. Call came in.
Yeah, that's okay. Yep.
My hair is different. My skin tone is different. And the way I speak right off the bat, they know, because while there are 40 different languages, the country is dominated by Ewe. Money moves in Ewe. So if you're buying or selling, you speak Ewe. I do not speak Ewe. I can understand just a little bit, but I don't, I'm not a fluent speaker.
Right.
And French is secondary. So everybody learns Ewe at home at some point, or if they're in the north, they learn Kabye at home. And then French they learn in school.
So what would it be like, just to set us up real quick, for someone, who is looking to live in Africa, let's say, and they're looking for a home, and not necessarily long term, but hey, I want to move to Africa. I want to have that experience. What is it about Togo that you would say, I mean, maybe the pros and cons? Okay, so French would be helpful, even though, as you said, there is a huge, variation of languages, but that would be helpful. Living in the capital, I mean, is it easy to get around?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So first, compared to other West African cities, because I've been to Lagos, I've been to Accra, I've been to Cotonou. There's pretty much no traffic. Traffic is incredibly light. We move by moto. So motorcycles, we have motorcycle taxis. I do own a moto. I barely drive it because I can take a motorcycle taxi. It's, you know, it's 50 cents generally to get halfway across town. Transportation is incredibly cheap. It's very, very, very safe. That's the
Ah,
main thing. I'm not worried
that's
about,
important.
I'm
That's
not worried.
something that a lot of people would be concerned about, safety.
Yeah, it's a very, very safe place. Togo is strange because they get a really low score on like the happiness index, but if you're there in Togo, you absolutely won't see that. I have no idea who's making those scores, but the people in Togo are really content. They live a traditional way of life. Um, for the most part, there are lots of young people. Most of the population is under 35. So, you know, if you're a young person, that's the place to be. Lots of people your age. It's cons. Togo is underdeveloped, but that's also a positive because that leaves space for, you know, you to develop. Um, Togo, it's not necessarily easy to buy land, but the price of land is low. So
What
if
about
you,
immigration,
yeah,
like
oh,
residency?
I'm not a permanent resident. They have, for our visa situation, Americans, we can get a year-long tourist visa on arrival.
No
So,
kidding. So you're American, you come in 1 year, enjoy the country.
yep. So
Nice.
what happens is you can get a visa on arrival at the airport. It's about 40 US dollars. You take that, then the following day, you take that over to immigration services, and then they'll give you your year-long tourist visa. And you can renew it right there in country, you know, when it gets close to that, the end of that
You
year.
know, I love that. And that's plenty of time for you to get to know the country and decide whether or not it's someplace that you'd like to live. And even if you didn't want to live there permanently, 1 year abroad in Togo, it sounds really,
It is.
like a great place to look into.
It's an amazing time. So the capital city, it borders Ghana, and it's right there on the beach. The capital city is on the beach, and it's you know, how can I put this? It's not the developed world. It's not, you know, Ghana is developed. A lot of people out there go to Ghana and that's their introduction to Africa. And they go to other countries expecting that level of development and organization. Togo is not that. But the upside to that is there's a lot less harassment because, you know, Ghana has police that are a little, they can be intimidating. Togo doesn't have that. Togo, in fact, I had an incident where I had to call the police, and funny story. So here, you know, you call 911, the police show up. There, I had to actually go to the police station, rent a taxi, and bring the police back to my house.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So that's definitely a con
I
for
did
that
see
part.
I did
But
see some pictures of the capital city, and it looks pretty modern, because again, it's a city that, we're all ignorant of because it's not always in our radar, that country. But you saying that it's right next to Ghana would be interesting because how easy is it to get to, say, if I wanted to, spend a weekend in Ghana?
Oh, I have a 5-year multiple entry visa to Ghana. So we actually often go to Ghana for the weekend. It's not a thing at all. It's about, I think it due to the war, gas prices went up, so travel is more expensive. But it's still only about, I think maybe about $12 to take public transportation from
Oh,
Togo to
that's very reasonable. And
Ghana.
what about housing? How easy is it to find affordable housing in the
Oh,
city?
incredible. So like I said, I have two places. My apartment in the city, it's a one bedroom. It's a bed, a 1 bedroom apartment, living room, kitchen, bathroom, everything, you walk in closet. It's in a really nice area on the fun side of town. So I live where the bars and the clubs and that kind of stuff, not too far away, it's walking distance, but in the neighborhood. So it's very quiet. I pay around $80 a month. for that space. That includes my electric is pay as you go. So we essentially buy like credit on our phones and then punch in a code. That runs me about, I'd say, less than $10 a month. If you have air conditioning, I don't, because my apartment's pretty cool. Lome, also a big pro about Lome and Togo in general. It's significantly cooler than the other cities around it. Lagos is incredibly hot. Accra is incredibly hot because they have paved roads. A lot of the roads
that's good to know.
Unpaved. Yeah, a lot of the roads in Togo are unpaved, so it's a cooler country. Just it's not as hot during the day or the night. Internet service is a little bit higher. Phone service about $25 a month. You're pretty good. You'd be able to call and talk as much as you want. Electric, water. My water bill is pretty low, and but I also collect rainwater. I have 5 gardens at my house because I work in agriculture, so I have,
Don't get me started. I love you already. You're a garden person. Oh my goodness. I love it.
My water bill is about between $7 and $8 a month. My place in the mountains, my other place, my rent is $24 a month. And my bills are altogether about $15 a month on top of that. So
very affordable. What about for kids, family with kids? Do you recommend it?
Yes and no. So malaria is a thing. Malaria is real. Actually, you can see, if you see in my face, I have dark circles under my eyes. I had malaria about 3 weeks ago.
Oh my goodness. What was that like?
It wasn't so bad this time. I've had malaria about 4 or 5 times.
Yikes.
Usually, I can see it in my face before I actually get sick. So if you treat it right away, it's not that bad. Not bad at all. The thing is treating it as soon as you know you have it. They sell tests that are $3. You prick your finger and you know if you're positive or not. Anytime you start feeling sick, you should go ahead and get a malaria test. And then to treat malaria is $7 or $8. Not bad at all. Malaria, if you let it run, it is really bad. It's like the flu, but only at night. When you wake up in the morning, you feel like $1 million, but at night, terribly sick. And once you take the meds, you instantly start feeling better. And then if it's not too bad, you get over it in a couple weeks, like you get your energy level back. But the first time I caught malaria, it took me about 1.5 years to get my energy level back. So, if you don't treat it, it can be serious. But if you treat it right away, it's not that bad. Not bad at all, actually. But you were asking for small children. Families with children, there's a lot for kids to do. There are some good private schools. The local education, I wouldn't recommend. Like public schools are not really an option if you want your child to succeed. Public schools are shockingly overcrowded. Like we're talking first grade with 130 students, one classroom. So education is difficult there. If you have the money to put your kids in private school, then that's what you want to do.
So you would say the ideal traveler would be maybe a single person or a couple for the most part, right? That would be an ideal spot. Kids, maybe if you're an adventurous type of family, right?
Well, I mean, if you want a vacation, great place to bring kids. Absolutely great place, because children are safe. Children are safe. You will see children running around playing in the street all day long. Nobody's bothering them. Sometimes they'll be half nude because they're not. It's not like the States where pedophiles peeking around every corner.
It's a different culture, sure.
Yeah, children are protected a lot more in that sense compared to here. And there's no. They don't have like a social service system. So children who are, if their parents meet an unfortunate demise, they go on to other relatives. It's not like here where they have foster care. There is no foster care. There are orphanages, but very few of them. And you don't meet a lot of children that are, not to say abandoned, but, just disregarded. Because of malaria, because of the way it affects women when they're pregnant, every birth is seen as a blessing. So every child is celebrated.
Oh, that's
yes,
beautiful.
so they put a lot of energy into, letting kids grow up. As it's not the case here, like kids are just, but.
So, so Togo is your spot, right? I mean, you've come to discover, and I love that, that you've discovered your spot, because this again just solidifies and tells people that it doesn't matter where in the world, you're going to find your spot, and it could be in that corner of the world, in that corner of the world, so it's so beautiful that that you're able to to share. And I wish that we had like 400 hours to talk about this country. And maybe we will one day. We'll do a whole series. But I'm really, really so pleased and excited to have had an opportunity, just for a little bit, to talk with you about what would you say to someone who's thinking about moving abroad, and maybe from your experiences of living in Africa, what advice would you give them for someone that's looking to connect and live in a continent such as Africa with all of these different melting pot of cultures?
Well, the thing about not just Togo, but Africa in general, any climate that you want, any atmosphere that you want, any city situation, if you want to live by the beach, if you want to live by a lake, if you can do that. And what solidified my decision to stay in Togo was how immediate that I could receive the things that I was working, how immediately I could receive the things I was working for. In the States, people may work 10 years on a business before it's successful. People will work a year on a business before they can even open their doors. At one
And then
point
the bureaucracy after that.
yeah, at one point in time, I had a business in Togo. I sell liquor. I sell liquor. I work in agriculture. I sell liquor that's derived from palm trees that I plant. I was able to open up shop and start selling my products within a couple weeks. And that just doesn't happen here. Africa is open for business. Africa is ripe and ready for you to come develop. Don't go to Africa looking for a job. Go to Africa to make jobs. So that's what I say to anybody. If you want to go to Africa, the plan that you have here will work there. Anything you can think of or dream of is attainable there.
That's good to know. That now, would you say what kind of startup capital? I mean, I know it depends on the business but I mean, just in general speaking.
Okay. So I was there for 6 months. My last time there, I was there for 6 months. Overall, during those 6 months, I spent $5,000. That's rent, food, entertainment. We go out every weekend. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That was everything. So I'd say about $500 or $600 a month to sustain yourself. You'll live a very comfortable life.
No way. That sounds awesome. That sounds really good. That sounds really good.
But like,
well, and it of course, because if you go and you blow your mind, of course, I mean, that could be anywhere, but that sounds like, for someone that's just planning to live a basic lifestyle, that you can do that. I'm excited. I am going to connect with you more. If someone wants to connect with you, are you a grammar? Are you social? How can we connect with you?
I'm on Facebook with my real name. My name is Zenobia Guy. And April 2023, I'll be launching my liquor nationally, Dada Z Soda Bee. It's a palm liquor that I actually make myself. So yeah, 2023, you should interview me again.
Absolutely. You can count on it. I'm excited. That
But
sounds really, really awesome.
you
That
can find
sounds awesome.
uh just my regular name, Zenobia Guy.
Okay, I'll make sure that I put it in the description below so folks can reach out to you if they have questions. I know I'm certainly going to be reaching out to you for more information. But thank you, Zenobia. This was so exciting, and I know it's short, but we're going to stay connected with you. I think that you're in an area and we're onto something big here. Like you said, Africa is open for business, it's open for development, and it's really not what a lot of people think it is, but it's a lot of good things that you'd be surprised to know about, I think, on the flip side of that. But thank you for sharing with us, and we're gonna keep you in our loop as your business grows, and we see what it's like to leave the US and go somewhere and be successful, because you're going to be successful. I know it. I know you are.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I mean, comparatively speaking to what I've achieved in the US, I'm actually already very successful over there. And it I don't want to say it was like instant, but in a sense it was. There's a different perception of Black Americans in Togo. Here, there's often a sense of like, especially in a crowd of white people, like, why am I in the room? You just feel that a little bit. There, when I walk into a room, it's like, it's the same thing. Why am I there? But it's more or less like, what is this well-educated person doing in our farm? You know what I mean? Like, and that they're always welcoming and very happy. So if anybody wants to visit Togo, I very much suggest you go visit. Just buy the plane ticket. Buy the plane ticket, get your passport, buy the plane ticket, and show up. Even if you don't speak a lick of French, you will find your way just fine. It's a very hospitable, warm, and loving place. And I hope that lots of Black Americans come visit, because it is not what you see on TV.
Yes, that's important to know. Don't believe all that other hype. Thank you so much, Zenobia. I'm so excited, and like I said, we're gonna stay connected with you, and hopefully folks will connect with you. And I want to thank everyone for watching. Please share this with folks that you think might have an interest in living in Africa, and add Togo to your list. Bye bye. Thank you.
Thank you.